Hello, meteorologist Whitney Huddleston here, and this Weather 101. We'll be talking about warning spots you can sign when bad weather is on the way. Some of the common weather patterns that we see when severe thunderstorms are occurring here in Texas. Of course, knowing what to look for could save your life. Let's start with wall clouds, one a lot of folks are familiar with. I actually took this video in 2022 outside of the town I live in, Salado. One of the most ominous signs of a developing tornado is a wall cloud. On that day, I was watching the weather radar and saw a classic hook signature on a developing and intensifying storm. At that time, the storm was probably 25 or so miles southwest of our town. Once the storm got a little closer, I saw that a wall cloud, as I'm circling right here, is beginning to form. A wall cloud is a low, rotating cloud base that hangs beneath a thunderstorm. Unlike regular cloud formations, a wall cloud often looks like a dark, isolated type of mass, sometimes with a tail of what we call scud clouds feeding into it. Oftentimes, storm spotters and people in general will mistake scud clouds, which can be very dark and ominous for a developing tornado. If you ever see a wall cloud beginning to rotate, it's a clear indicator that a tornado could form at any time. This is what ended up happening on the day I took this earlier video, this one right after it. Another important feature to recognize is a shelf cloud, which can signal strong winds and potential severe thunderstorms as well. Unlike a wall cloud, though, which is associated with tornadoes, a shelf cloud stretches across the horizon in a wedge-like formation, just like this, marking the leading edge, the beginning of a thunderstorm's gust front. Very windy. When you see a shelf cloud approaching, expect sudden wind gusts, heavy rain, even hail shortly thereafter. We see these a lot more often than we do wall clouds, of course. Another classic sign of an intensifying storm is a greenish type of sky. No, this is not an old wives' tale. This eerie color often appears right before severe weather is going to occur, particularly when hail is present. The green tint comes from sunlight scattering through the towering storm clouds filled with moisture and ice. While a green sky doesn't guarantee a tornado, it does mean you should be on high alert. Finally, one of the most overlooked warning signs is a sudden, eerie type of calm. In some cases, a storm may briefly go quiet before the most dangerous weather hits. This can happen when a powerful updraft coming up from the ground pulls air into the storm, temporarily reducing surface winds. It gets really calm. The storm has been raging and suddenly everything goes still. You want to take shelter immediately. It could be the calm before the storm's very worst moments. Recognizing these warning signs can help you stay ahead of severe weather. But the best way to stay safe, of course, is to have multiple ways to receive alerts, whether it's a weather app, NOAA weather radio, or local news updates. Now let's talk about common weather patterns that contribute to severe spring storms in Texas. One major player is the dry line, this yellow line pictured right here on radar imagery. This is a boundary separating warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, coming up from the south, and hot, dry air from the desert southwest, of course, coming from the west. Oftentimes, Central Texas can be smack dab right in the middle of it or in the intersection of where this line is located or just east of it. As the dry line moves eastward, it lifts the moist air, often triggering these powerful thunderstorms and even, yes, tornadoes. Another system that fuels spring storms in Texas is the clash between cold fronts, circle that right there, shown as the blue line on this imagery with triangles on it, and warm, humid Gulf air, obviously coming up from the south. When a strong cold front pushes into warm air, it forces the warm air to rise rapidly, creating the instability needed for severe thunderstorms to form. This setup is responsible for many of the strong storms seen in the spring months here in Central Texas. Upper level disturbances, including jet stream dynamics, also do play a role. The jet stream acts as a steering mechanism for these storm systems that we see when strong upper level winds are interacting with surface weather patterns. They enhance storm development. These disturbances can intensify storms, increase the risk of large hail, damaging winds, and yes, tornadoes. By understanding these weather patterns and the warning signs of severe weather, you can stay prepared and safe when storms do threaten us. Be sure to tune in next week. Our next Weather 101 on 6 Plus is going to feature severe weather preparations by Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell.